Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Mary McIntyre here. I'm going to make some pumpkins today. I bought a bunch of moulds from Shein a while ago. Did the unboxing on my channel, so hopefully you saw that. I bought a couple of these lidded pumpkin pots, so I've not made one of those yet, so I'm going to have a go at that. I also got these solid pumpkin moulds, and I have made one small one using some chameleon powder, and I made a couple with eco pour. When I made those, I dusted one of the extra moulds here with I can't actually remember, I think it was mint that I used. These come out a completely different colour with black resin than they do with ordinary clear resin, but I think that's what that one was, and I've selected a couple of other colours here to go on the other two pumpkins. So at the end of the video I should have 3 solid pumpkins and 1 lidded pot. For the pot, the lid, there's a leaf there. I'm thinking of adding some silver foil to the leaf and the stalk. I'll see if I can get it to adhere to the silicone mould so the resin can pick it up. As for the rest of the pot, I'm going to split my resin into 3. I'm going to do some of it black, some of it translucent purple, and I'll probably add a bit of purple mica as well. And then the rest I'll leave clear, and I'm going to kind of alternate pouring those, so hopefully you'll have that kind of slight ghosting where the different colours mix. So that's the plan for the big one. So my priority is the big pumpkin. I will come to these after that, so I'm probably going to have to mix up 2 separate batches of resin. I'm going to use the Apex high gloss resin. That's what I have quite a lot of here at the moment, so I'm going to use that, especially on this pumpkin, because anywhere there's going to be clear resin you really want good clarity, and this stuff's great for that. So the chameleon powders are from Let's Resin. This is a set I bought over a year ago and they're still going strong, and I will of course be wearing my respirator when it comes to mixing and pouring resin. Right, my metallic flakes are not necessarily the best quality, so they do not always stick to. They're flying everywhere, I can see that, but they don't always stick to my silicone moulds, which is a problem. Because it's a bit scrunched up, so it kind of has a bit of trouble sometimes adhering. So I may just have to accept it's going to be a kind of shabby chic effect if I do get it to stick, as in it won't necessarily stick to everything. It's certainly sticking where it's landed there, and I don't really want it there, but we can work with that. It's very, very, very thin, flaky stuff. So I'm just using a soft brush, and I'm just kind of tapping, just pushing it into the mould. When I've used this particular one before, I've had issues where it partially lifted and left me with something slightly sticking out in my resin, which is not ideal. Just going to accept that this is not going to be like a solid silver coverage. Oh my god, this stuff goes everywhere. So yeah, it's okay if some of the resin is showing through this. I'm not concerned about that. I'm going to leave it at that, and I will come back and add more of those flakes to my clear. Put those to the side for now, so you can see that some of that has coverage. There are some bits showing through, and that's okay. So I'm going to just dust off my brush, and I'm going to assume that that pumpkin is mint. I think I'm going to go teal for the large one, purely because it's my favourite chameleon powder colour. pretty sure that this particular pumpkin is so large that it should technically be getting a deep pour resin. So I hope I don't have any flash curing kind of incidents. So teal is not your conventional pumpkin colour, but it's kind of interesting. These chameleon powders are beautiful, but none of them are really pumpkin coloured. And because of all the texture in this mould and the matte finish, the chameleon powders look really good. You get that difference in tone through the texture. All of the ones that have a green hint to them kind of look the same, and it's not very green. But we can have teal pumpkins if we want. Okay, and I have a teal coloured hand as well. So I'm going with golden for this last one. Brushing the excess off onto my apron. There's a little bit of crossover with the colours, that's okay. These are only for me, so if we have the odd little patch of teal in here, that is okay. So yeah, golden kind of looks like a brownish gold on here. Whether it'll look more green toned when it gets a black background, I suspect it will, because the lid, it looks really green in the lid. Right, so I'm going to mix up my resin. I'm going to dig out my purple mica powder so that I've got a bit of shimmer in with that purple clear. The teal looks legit bright blue from this angle. Put my respirator on, mix up my resin, then I'll be back to pour.
So I added a few of the scrunched up silver flakes to my clear resin, the translucent purple pigment and some purple mica powder in there to give it some opacity and some shimmer. Then I have my plain black. So I just alternated between the three, just taking turns until all of the purple and all of the clear and silver had gone in. Then what was left of the black, I made a start on filling up the solid pumpkin moulds. And 24 hours later I was ready to demould. The solid ones popped out like a dream. The silicone's very squishy, so I had no problem at all getting those out. The big round one was a little trickier, but when I was demoulding the lid I suddenly realised the big error that I'd made. I had not noticed all the air bubbles that had accumulated around the edge of that lid. Really gutted about that. But it was a bit harder to get this demoulded, but the resin was nice and solid, so I just took my time and popped them out.
So here the resin ones are finished. On camera these colours are looking very similar to each other. I do believe these two are the same chameleon powder, and the design on the two pumpkins is slightly different, and because of the colour shift it's making them look different, but that is the same one. These two obviously are different. Now with this mould, if you overfill it you end up with a bit of a lip at the bottom and it's quite sharp, so I did sand that down with a nail file, but in future I'll be careful not to fill it right to the top because of that. So that's the small resin ones. I did also make a couple of eco pour ones. I coloured this with orange acrylic paint, and I added a load of the acrylic paint to the water before mixing the eco, thinking it would first of all give me a brighter colour but make it even. Not the case. They're really not evenly coloured at all, and there's almost no colour to them. The water was like vivid orange, so I'm really struggling with eco, to be honest. Everything I'm making is super fragile. I'm having to add way more water than the instructions, otherwise I can't get it into the mould. So I really don't know what I'm doing with that. I haven't bothered sealing these. As you can see, there are chunks coming off it. They're just powdery and a bit rubbish. So we'll ignore those for now. This big lidded part is really nice. I've been filming very late at night and I've not been very well, so I've just been not with it at all, and I completely didn't notice all the air bubbles being trapped under the lip of the lid of this lidded pot. So they've all got little bites taken out of them where the air bubbles were, which is kind of annoying, but you can't really see it. They are just a bit sharp, so I do need to sand those down. The clear completely lost. You cannot see the clear resin at all. There are some pops of the foil and a little bit of ghosting where the purple shows through the black, but the clear was totally taken over by the black, and that's okay. I actually love the colour, and if you look at it from the top, you've got like a purple side and a black side, and the lid colour almost matches that, so you can have the lid so that the purple matches the purple. It doesn't go all the way around, but then you can mostly have the black lid on the black side of the pumpkin. So that was a kind of nice happy accident. But yeah, I'm not mad at this at all. I actually love the shabby chic leaf. I know it does look a bit messy around the edges, but I'm fine with that. I quite like that, so really happy with that. And it's a decent pot as well. You could use this for LED candles, but it's a big enough pot to actually put some stuff in. So yeah, I really like that. Used a ton of resin though. It weighs a ton. It's a thirsty mould that used a lot of resin. These ones also solid and used quite a lot of resin, but with the different pattern on each of these, like the medium and the large are very similar. The smaller ones have a slightly different kind of texture to them, but with the different chameleon powders it means there's endless possibilities really with colour shift, so that's really nice. And I'm pretty sure they'd look nice with a solid colour as well. Look at the actual state of where those eco pour pumpkins have just been. Within 5 miles of it, it covers everything in dust. I don't know what I'm doing wrong with that. Anyway, that's the pumpkins, so I hope you enjoyed watching those. It's a simple project in a lot of ways, but you can't have enough pumpkins in the house. I'm going to take these downstairs to add to my other Halloween decorations. So I've got another Halloween video coming out for you this week sometime, and that's probably going to be it with regard to home decor. I have a plan for part of my big Halloween display that I was hoping to have got on with by now. That's a bigger prop kind of video. I don't even know if I'm going to have time to make it. I've had a severe ear infection and I've just been so under the weather. Work has been bonkers. I just don't have any energy. So it's going to be a last minute throw something together. So I don't know if I'll have time to film it all, but I will see what I can do in the next week, see if I can work some miracles and do some late nights. Anyway, I'm babbling far too much. Here are the pumpkins. I hope you enjoyed watching me make them, and I'll see you in the next video for one more definite home decor Halloween project. Bye for now.